Morning everyone, it's Julie at the Paper Bag Lady One, and I'm here today to show you the gift that I made for Joy's teachers. So Joy is in 8th grade this year, and they have an 8th grade graduation. They didn't do that when I was in school, but anyway, it's a big deal. And these kids have had these teachers for anywhere from 1 to 3 years. Most of them at least 2 years. So anyway, I wanted to do something fun for them this year. Oh, look, you don't have anything to look at. Here, look at the ballerina hamster. I wanted to do something different for them this year because I made them all albums last year. They don't really need the same type of thing. So, excuse me, what I decided to do was kind of go back to what I did when Joy was really little, and that was I used to go into the classroom and have the kids, well, when they were really little, draw pictures for the teachers, or when they got a little older, write them notes or messages and put them into the album. So I wanted to do that. And so what I did was I hit up the art teacher who likes me because I give her all this random stuff from my studio that I don't use anymore, and said, hey, can I come into your classroom when you have these kids for art and have them write notes to the teachers? And she said, sure. So I made the albums, and then 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I went into the art class and told the kids what I wanted from them and had them write them. So I thought that I would show you the albums. So let me move this happy hamster. Isn't that cute? I'm sorry. I found it at work this week. I worked because it was Mother's Day, so I was in at the flower shop. And they had these little ballerina hamsters. I had to buy that for my ballet teacher. Okay, so anyway, so let's talk about the teachers. So I'm not going to do separate videos because I'm not going to go through every little detail of the albums, but we'll start. So this is Mr. Collins, and he is the history teacher, the social studies teacher. He actually also teaches English to half of the 8th grade. To the non-advanced, that sounds like they're stupid, but to the not honors class or whatever they call it, I don't know. But anyway, but I did this album with all just social studies because he teaches everybody social studies, and also that's the only thing that my daughter has him for is social studies. So this is what's it called? Seven Gypsies paper. I don't remember what it's called, but it is Seven Gypsies. And he obviously is the history teacher, and this year they focused on United States history. So in we go, and then I made them all. It's just like pockets. Well, not like pockets, they are pockets, and then the kids wrote on them, and I put them in the thing. So in the background here, this is all about the chronology of the United States history. I went through my old encyclopedias, and I went to the thrift store and bought books and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, and I used some of my favorite Viz Ed cards, Country Nation, and then over here we have Benjamin Franklin, and I believe that's Thomas Jefferson, and in the back there it's We the People, it's the Constitution. And here we have some more. This is all about the Indians, the excuse me, Native Americans. They studied a lot of that history this year. And then this is, I believe it's Teddy Roosevelt, because they think that it's Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. I remember they studied that. I remember helping Joy study for that. Some more Viz Ed cards. Here's some more things on the Native Americans. And that's more encyclopedia pages in the background. Here we have, oh my word, excuse me, I have a giant fur ball. This back here is more on the Native Americans. You know, I had a hard time finding a lot of specific things. Like I wanted to find World War I and stuff like that. And that just wasn't in my encyclopedias in enough of a way to make it that I could do spreads on it. But anyway, so more Viz Ed cards, history, past, blah, blah. And then they also study the Civil War, and I live about 45 minutes from Gettysburg. So I did quite a bit of that. Some more in the background from the encyclopedia. These are, I bought these, I'm sorry you can't see, I bought these last time I was thrifting. They're little like cardboard little cutouts that you could stand up and make Civil War, make like a little, I guess you play with them if you were a little kid. Kind of like Army Men, but out of paper. But anyway, that's what that is. Union and the Confederacy. More in the background. Here's the flag. The Union when they seceded. And then there's a postcard from Gettysburg. We had a bloody field. Anyway, so that is for the social studies teacher. Then we move along to the math teacher. And I have the number 8 on the front because this is 8th grade, clearly. And then these are actually folders that I got at the Dollar Tree. But they had math kind of things on them. They also actually had some sciencey type stuff on it, but I didn't care. I liked it. And then in the background, I took different textbooks and things like that and cut out pages that had something to do with what they studied this year. It was a lot of pre-algebra type of stuff. So here we have some theorems, little definitions, equations, and pictures. And then we have more little numbers in the centers of flowers, and these are actually brads. Joy says, was that really an 11? I said, no, that actually was an equal sign because there was a multiplication sign. I had used some of them in an album before, but I used the rest in this. And then I had them write actually on graph paper for this, which I thought was kind of clever. And actually a couple kids commented on, they're like, oh my gosh, it's graph paper, because they did graphs this year. Equations. You see, graph of an equation. And it's basically more of the same throughout. There's different pictures of they did angles. Geometry, they did some geometry. Joy really liked geometry. Look, I was so excited. Congruent. Anyway. Oh, there's the multiplication sign. So anyway, that was, oh, yes, parabolas. That was for the math teacher. And oh, if you didn't notice, these have more pages than my albums usually do. Usually they have 5 2-page spreads, and this one has 7 because I used 4 paper bags instead of 3. Because there are 46 kids between the 2 8th grade classes, and I was afraid it would get too fat if I just kept it. I mean, they are pretty fat anyway, but I was afraid the pockets would kind of puff out and be too fat if I just did 5. So anyway, here's science, Mrs. Corrigan, which I used, as you can see on her name, from the periodic table because they did that this year. Sadly, there weren't M's or R's or MR abbreviations in the periodic table, so only some of the letters got it, but my husband and my neighbor both said they liked the fact that it was just some of them. So anyway, so here we have Mendel. They did some genetics, dominant and recessive genes. They did that this year. More Viz Ed cards, which I love desperately. Oh, and this is an American Crafts paper. They did DNA, which is like my favorite thing ever. I loved learning that. So we have different things. A lot of these are actually like Time Life books that I bought at the thrift store. I went looking for books, and oh my gosh, they had one on genetics. They had one on energy and matter. Like they had everything that I possibly could have needed for science. It was fantastic. Here's the atomic theory. Okay, look, I love this. Carbon atom and the oxygen atom join to make the carbon monoxide molecule. That just made me laugh. Okay, so anyway, so in the back we have different things about the elements. This is the dude who invented or discovered or put together the periodic table. There's the periodic table back there. And then one of the books had all these different periodic, oh, here's a whole page of it. You can see just the different elements. The earthly and elegant community of elements. That just made me smile. And then chemical equations and reactions. They did that. Acids and bases. To alter or change, blah, blah. Chemical formulas and that sort of thing. So that was the science teacher. And then finally, we have the English teacher, who is actually also the religion teacher. If you didn't know, my daughter goes to Catholic school because the school district that we live in here in the city of Harrisburg is the city school district, and it is quite frightening. So she goes to private school. So anyway, they have religion classes. And not everybody has this teacher for English. About half of them have her for religion also. So I did a combination of religion and English. And actually this year was also confirmation year for the Catholic students, which my daughter is not one of, but a fair number of them, of course, are Catholic. And so that was a big emphasis this year. And they did church history and that sort of thing. So anyway, so here we put this. This is also an American Crafts paper, but I used a Scrabble board and then spelled out her name and religion in English. And then I tried to keep the tags from the kids in the subject that they had her for, whether it be English or religion, but I didn't know for all of them. And I didn't want to sit there and go through with my daughter who did what and blah, blah. So anyway, so here we have vocabulary, possessive form of personal pronouns. This was the hardest one to find stuff for. Like, I did find a couple of books, but they either weren't big enough or didn't have exactly what I was looking for. And then I actually bought a book. I ordered a book online, a used one, of course, on the history of the Catholic Church, which is where I got a lot of the religion pages. But anyway, so we have vocabulary and antecedent. Here's a religious page. That's, oh shoot, which one was crucified upside down? Was it Peter? I can't remember, but anyway, I remember studying that with Joy. Then we have St. Francis. Here we are back to English, Edgar Allan Poe. They did read some of Poe's short stories, and some of his poems also. And then in the background, we just have correct and incorrect uses of pronoun, or what are they called? Over the mountain, in the mountain, through the mountain. I can't remember what they're called. Isn't that terrible? I think it starts with a P. Maybe not. It's Saturday morning. Anyway, here's some information on the popes and different things that happened. Here we are back to diagramming sentences, which they did do some of this year. Here we are back at the... There's Mary. They studied this painting. I remember she saw that. And Joy said, oh, we learned about that today. Actually, the day I got the book in the mail. And then back to the English. And that's it. So those are the albums that I made for Joy's teachers this year. I was pretty excited about them. And I have to tell you what, these kids, I expected some of them would take it seriously and write some nice things. And I expected some of them would probably roll their eyes at me inside their heads when I couldn't see them. But for the most part, I mean, they were really great. Some of them obviously put more thought into it than others, and I would expect that. But some of the things these kids wrote were just super, super nice. And some of them coming from kids that I would not have expected it from. Some of the things they said. Like, I could have wept reading some of these, and I'm not even the teacher. And to be quite honest, I kind of want to keep them just so that I can read them whenever I want to, because they're so neat. So I am so excited to give these to the teachers. And Joy wondered would I give them to them at graduation. And I said, no, I think I'm actually going to give it to them before graduation so they can read them and enjoy them. And if they want to say anything to the kids about them, that they could. So sometime, let's see, she graduates on the 31st. And finals are the week before that. So sometime in the week of May the 23rd, I think I'll have her take these into school and give them to the teachers. So I'm really excited for them to have them. I had a lot of fun putting these together. You know, I've been working for so long on shows and things like that last year that it was so exciting and so much fun to be able to just do whatever the heck I wanted. And not have to worry about copyright because I'm not selling it, and I could just do whatever, and it was great fun. So actually the next project I have, Minions! Is because my daughter's dance recital this year, the opening number that company does is actually a mashup of a bunch of Minion songs. So 2 of the levels are going to be the yellow Minions, and then Joy's level are the purple Minions with the crazy hair, and it's really fun, really cute number. So I'm actually doing that for the gal who choreographed the number. So that, and I'm going to give it to her way before the recital so that she can, if she wants to take pictures of the kids and do that and put it in it, she can. But anyway, so that's my new project. But again, it doesn't matter because I'm not selling it, so I can use the Minions. I can do whatever I want. So, and I will be sure to show you that when I'm finished with it. So anyway, oh, this was kind of a long video, 15 minutes almost. But if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'd love to know what you think of these albums. I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. And I just drew a blank. There was something else I was going to say. I've lost it, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.